Hello YouTube, Travels with Dave here, the good, the bad, and the Skoolie. Today is day of days. I have made a lot of progress on the Skoolie today. Having finished getting the plywood off the floor and then having to deal with the nails and the bolts sticking up, I spent the better part of the day, of course, grinding them down. And you can see where it's silver, and you're getting some of that metal there and cleaning it up and getting that rust off of there. So I finished that up, and then I did some experimentation for covering the holes just to see. I've seen a couple ideas on YouTube, of course, by other Skoolie persons. I think it was Scott from Roll With It and KJ. I think he actually used pennies on some of his holes with silicone, and I tried that, and I used this 100% silicone, that stuff right there, and the penny, and it's sealing pretty good. It looks like this is only about 3 hours ago actually when I did that, and it looks like it's already dry. And then this sheet metal is pretty thin. I got it at Lowe's, and I think it's very inexpensive. It was kind of over by the home gutter section, and I just thought it would be nice, and I just cut a couple squares out of it, and I did that, and I used a clear sealant on that, and that's actually covering the hole pretty good too. And then this is a penny right here covered, and I kind of overdid it with the amount that I used, but it's in the process of drying too. So I think there's various ways of doing that. I kind of like the penny idea and this sheet metal because it's very inexpensive. It's easy to cut little squares out of it. I use these to cut the little squares out and put them there. But I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use pennies, and I'm going to use this. It's pretty flimsy, but I think that if you get enough sealant on there, it should glue and it'll hold, and it ain't going anywhere. And then of course you get your foam insulation under there and your subfloor and your plywood. I think it'll be okay. And once you get it all painted and protected and stuff. But anyway, the floor part is coming along, and I got all the bolts and the nails out, I think. I've been sweeping and going along, and every once in a while I'll find one that I missed and didn't get, and I'll just go over there with the angle grinder and do it. And then the second thing I started doing was I started on the roof, or the ceiling rather, and I started pulling these panels out all the way down. And here's the insulation that's behind there, but this was not a hard process at all, really. You just had to unscrew, and usually you had your panel right here, and you had like these screws, and you just pulled all the screws out. And then I basically just took my rubber mallet and my crowbar, and then these rubber mallets, if you didn't know, on one side it's hard and on the other side it's soft, and you use the hard side, and basically you just had to kind of pound them up above this so that you could pull it out, and they just came out really easy. I didn't have any trouble with that at all. I made fast work of that. So I just kept going, and here's all the insulation. I thought that maybe when I get ready to build the boxes around the wheel wells, that I'm going to use this insulation to shove in there and make it as insulated as I can. And person might want to also consider something to baffle the sound coming from those wheels in your bus, but you want to go for dampen the sound that you get from the tires and the noise, and also get the insulation part of it too. But I think I'm going to save some of this and not throw all of it away, but a lot of it came out. So lots of wires, as you can see, starting all the way down, mostly on the port side, and all the way down. And then I went and I did the first panel that I've ever done in the bus, And I bought this Cobalt air chisel. I think I paid under 25, 30 bucks at Lowe's. And it came, then I had to buy a chisel set that had 5 or 6 chisels that I think was like 17 bucks or something. But anyway, you start with this and you puncture the hole. And you just give it a couple pulls on the trigger and it punctures that hole. Just punches a hole right in it. And you do the whole row all the way. And then you change chisels. You put this one on. And if you go at it at a certain angle, you'll just chop the head right off. And I've got to tell you, it didn't take me no time at all. You can see, I just, like I said, I went ahead and punctured the holes with that spiked part. Then I put my chisel on and you angle it and you just pull that trigger, a couple, 3 jerks of it, and it goes right off. Got the compressor right there. My little one, it seemed to have enough power to push it and do it. But I made a lot of progress on that. So I think that's going to be an easy task, taking these out. Just, you know, spending the day of, it'll pound you a little bit. I can feel my arms. I'm kind of tired out from drilling and nailing and angle grinder. It's been a long day. I've been working on it probably since 11 o'clock today. And it's almost, what, 4:30, 5 o'clock. So anyway, I'm making progress. I'm really happy. It's always nice when you make these little victories like this, and when things go right and you're not spending a long time figuring out how to do something, or drilling something, or breaking a bit, or, you know, having the wrong screws, or taking the daily trips to the hardware store or Lowe's, which I'm telling you, you will do that. You'll be making trips, and you know, you got to make lists. There was one last thing I was going to talk about, and that is safety. I'm telling you that if you were not careful and you're haphazard and you're sloppy, or you don't take the time to put your eye protection on, ear protection, gloves, you know, and think things through before you do it, you could easily hurt yourself. Especially working with this sheet metal. You could easily slice your hand if you weren't careful. I think you could severely cut yourself pretty good, or just anything, you know, making sure there's no flammables around, and you know, everything's cool. And I've got an extinguisher right there in case a fire happens, God forbid. But man, you have to be careful, because as it turns out, on this particular spot right here, I had this ready to come out, and I loosened all the screws and it was ready. And I was standing this way and I was cutting these rivets out, and when I got down to the last one, this thing came down on me. But the back of this, the panel that was back there, that is now in the back of my pickup truck, it fell back on my neck, and it hurt. It didn't cut me, but it was stupid. But I just didn't think about it. But anyway, point is, be careful. Ear protection, wear the eye protection, wear gloves, think it through, maybe check your space a little bit before you get ready to go full out with it and cavalier. But anyway, I'm going to post this video. I'm going to clean up, take shower, relax the rest of the evening, get something to eat. So anyway, Travels with Dave, the good, the bad, the Skoolie. If you like my channel, please subscribe. Give me some pointers if you have anything, or any way to do something, and if it's easier, or if you have any suggestions. But anyway, Travels with Dave signing off. Goodbye, YouTube.